Hi guys. So today's session is about Linux directories. So why exactly we use directories in the Linux? So the concept of the directories is similar to the folders in the Windows operating system. So in the Linux we call as the directories. In Windows we call as the folders. So why do we use directories in normally like in our daily use case is something like in order to segregate the respective data. So directories can be used to store any kind of files. For example, if your audio files, video files, and if you want to use it like an use storage of the certificates, or like if you want to store softwares, right? So you can use like an you can create a directory folder name called as softwares, and then you can keep all the softwares in that particular folder. So in the Linux also we will store it in the directory. So every company basically has its own directory structure. For example, you take any big companies like Microsoft, Oracle, right? And also like you take IBM or any software companies, they have their own directory structures where they maintain their data. So in the Linux, when, for example, if you are working on the Linux environment, so that you will be asked to create the specific folder structure, and then you'll also be asked to store the respective files in that particular directory, so that it will be easier to retrieve the files whenever you want, or your client requested the like in the files which have we have stored earlier. So because of that nature, so like we'll be creating the directories in the Linux environment, and then we'll be storing the files accordingly. So for example, to understand easily, so I have just made some of the pictorial representation, something like, so the music uh, directory, so where we will be segregating our data in the form like in here, if you see like Indian songs and Western songs, so I will be creating Indian songs folder and the Western songs for directory. And then again, so we'll be creating a subdirectories, so where I want to store like in Hindi songs in one directory and Telugu hits in one directory. And for the Western songs also, like I want to store it in hard rock songs in one subdirectory and soft rock hits in one directory. So the commands that we use in the Linux to create a directories is something like using the mkdir command. So which is like which will create a directory, and then mkdir is like make directory, and then now we are creating the name of the directory which we are trying to create here. And for example, if you see this particular command, so we are going to create subdirectories inside this particular main directory. So this is a main directory and this is a subdirectory. So in the subdirectory, we are using like Indian and Western, and also like we are creating subdirectories inside these folders as well, like as we discussed, like if you want to store some Telugu Hindi songs, so we'll be storing here in the Telugu Hindi folder. So subfolders will be created under the Indian subfolder. So like that we you can create like 64,000 subdirectories in the Linux. So there is a possibility of that many subdirectories that you can create. And also I want to share the real time how exactly we create a directory structure. And here I would like to explain how exactly that directory structure will be created. So for example, as I explained, MK like an so as I'm explaining, So how do we create a directory? So which is called like an mkdir music, and then under that we'll be creating uh, like Indian and Western. So we have to give the floor brackets. Here you can see. And also like now we will be creating another subdirectories inside the Indian folder. So how can we create? So we can create Indian and then so like Telugu heads and then Hindi heads like this. And also we need to provide the comma and then Western, and then we can give like soft music and hard music, and then we have to close the respective brackets and then enter. So now we can go inside the music like, and so cd is like to go inside the folder, so we'll be using the change directory here. And then if you do the ls, so there will be like the Indian and then Western. So if I try to go to the, oh okay, I think I made some mistake here. So what we have to do uh, here is like it should be slash under Indian. We are going to create subdirectories, right? So that's why it's created the individual folders if you do not give the slash. So now if you see, so I go to the music directory and then I go to the Indian folder. Now I can see like Telugu and Hindi, and if I, in the same way, if I go to the Western, so you can see the soft and hard like in directories. So in this way, you can create a folders in the Linux environment, and you can store the data accordingly as as per your needs. So this is all about the session about the how exactly the directories helps in your real-time working environment, especially when you're working in the Linux. So that's all.